The Nintendo Switch 2 is almost here, and that's so exciting. There's a lot of new information about the system. Let's get straight into it. So, the Switch 2 is finally here. You can have a chance to see the Nintendo Switch 2 lineup in your local retail store, which is pretty awesome. They're getting ready for launch. They're getting ready to let everyone get their hands on Nintendo Switch 2. And let me tell you, there's a good chance that if you didn't score a pre-order, there's a big chance that you can get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2, because half of the systems in this photo aren't even pre-order systems. They're just on-the-shelf systems. So you will most likely be able to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2. Depending on where you live, depending on how busy your city is, if you didn't score a pre-order, there's a big chance that you can get one. So anyways, that's pretty awesome. So it turns out that you're going to need a system software update to play your Nintendo Switch 1 games, your Nintendo Switch 2 games, and also the micro SD enhancement cards. So just make sure that you have internet on the day of Nintendo Switch 2 instead of wondering what in the world is going on. Why can't I play my game? That's probably why you're going to need the update to allow everything to work seamlessly. So anyways, that's just the thing to keep in mind. All right, so the list of games that are going to be compatible on Nintendo Switch 2 has been updated, which includes Nintendo Labo is actually going to be able to be played on Nintendo Switch 2, which is awesome. Now, there's only a couple games that aren't able to be played on Switch 2, which is Nintendo Labo VR. So the VR kit is not able, but the regular Nintendo Labo is able. Now, there's other games which you can take a look at right here, but that was pretty much the big one. But also, there's games that you will need the standard Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Cons to play the games. So that includes Ring Fit Adventure, Everybody 1-2 Switch, 1-2 Switch, Builder Garage, Nintendo Switch Sports, WarioWare Move It, Nintendo Labo, the Nintendo Labo 2, and the Nintendo Labo 3. So all the Nintendo Labos, you will need the original Nintendo Switch Joy-Con to play those games, but overall, that right there isn't much of a big issue to have. Anyways, the Nintendo Switch 64 is supposed to be better on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we've seen that Nintendo is updating the visuals and also updating the rewind section. So you will be able to rewind your Nintendo 64 games. Honestly, I think Rewind's a pretty handy tool if you're just playing the game and you don't feel like going through an entire cutscene if you lost your footing inside of Mario 64 or something. So then you can just rewind a little bit and there you go, be on your way. Now, does this leave the question open for GameCube Rewind? Now, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that's the only one that's missing Rewind now. So just maybe we could see GameCube Rewind on Nintendo Switch 2. So now, there's been a lot of new information about Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is not that much, but still pretty cool. So now it turns out, for those of us who haven't gone to the, Nintendo Switch 2 launch session kind of party, well, it turns out that both of the L and R button, they're going to be used for your hands. So you feel like a real Donkey Kong master when you're like running around punching things with your L and R button. Pretty awesome. I think it's really awesome. Anyways, we saw the little title screen. It looks like the title screen. So overall, really cool. Box of Nintendo Switch 2. I'm so excited for it. Mario Kart World, everything about the system looking really, really fantastic. We know the leaked box art, or not so leaked anymore, of Street Fighter. So if you wanted to take a look at the back, there's the back. It's pretty interesting. But overall, I think that this is really exciting. And Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out very, very soon. And if you want to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2, you're probably going to be able to get your hands on a launch day Nintendo Switch 2. Now, Nintendo has confirmed that they are working on trying to get rid of scalpers and all of that stuff. So if you still don't have a Nintendo Switch 2, please don't buy from scalpers, because that's just no, don't do it. Please don't do it, because then they're going to, anyways. So overall, Nintendo Switch 2, all of this information, really, really awesome. Now, I have one thing to tell you. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I really, really appreciate it, and I couldn't have done it without you. This journey has been long and fast, and I really appreciate it finally being at 1,000. The journey was like so special, and I really appreciate you for all the help and support with nice comments, feedback, and everything. Telling me either the mic is, horrible, or the mic is good, or whatever. And I always try to, cut down on the loud music. Okay, I cut down on the loud music. And change up a whole bunch of things. I'll change up a bunch of things. I like to listen. The point is, I like to listen to your feedback. And, this is truly special. And it's the perfect timing. We're just around the corner for Nintendo Switch 2. So, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say thank you so much. And I hope that you have a fantastic day. Consider to hit the like button. Consider to hit the subscribe button if you want to. It's completely up to you. And yeah, are you excited for Nintendo Switch 2? Let me know what you're most excited about for Nintendo Switch 2. And there's a video right here if you want to click on it that shows even more information about Nintendo Switch 2. So consider to check that out if you want. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.